This is Michael Popok. Don't check that dial. It's time for Legal AF After Dark. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals sits over Judge Aileen Cannon down in Florida. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they're going to reverse Aileen Cannon and her decision among the only federal judge to refuse to acknowledge the United States Supreme Court precedent of Nixon versus the United States back in 1974 and just decide, oh, I don't know, that the special counsel is a figment of our imagination. He doesn't exist. He's a giant pink elephant. What's he doing here? Why is he prosecuting cases? Who gave him that authority? Only Aileen Cannon. The 11th Circuit is going to get around eventually on this appeal over the summer to making the decision we've all been waiting for. We break it down for you on Legal AF. Take a listen.
Judge Cannon's appeal based on her horrific order. The 11th Circuit set a briefing schedule that has this thing being heard by the 11th Circuit sometime in October, November, when there'll be oral arguments. Judge Cannon is going to get reversed. It's going to be a scathing decision. And Michael Popok, this case is an easy one. Trump stole war plans, nuclear secrets. It didn't belong to him. There's surveillance footage of his valet, Walty Nauta, moving and taking the boxes and, hiding it when literally, it looked like an Abbott and Costello, routine. It looked like the Three Stooges. Like you have the FBI there, FBI's upstairs, then downstairs, the guys moving it, and those are our I'm laughing in the absurdity of it, but pull the photo up, Salty. Those are their nuclear secrets in there. There are war plans in there. That gets people killed overseas. Our troops are foreign assets. It has real world implications. And so the foolishness of the act, I should be clear, should not overcompensate for the severity of what we're talking about. But Popok, briefly, talk to us about this briefing schedule and when do we expect Judge Cannon to be reversed?
This is the 11th Circuit has set up a clear glide path to reverse Aileen Cannon. Let me just back it up for a minute. Dozens of judges around the country, federal judges around the country, one major appellate court, the DC Court of Appeals, and something that you and I like to refer to as the United States Supreme Court, have all ruled prior to Judge Cannon's trying to do a solid for her patron, Donald Trump, have all ruled that whether you call it special prosecutor, special counsel, or independent counsel, they're all valid as exercises of the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the powers of the Attorney General, and all of that. And which starts with U.S. versus Nixon in 1974 with a unanimous 9-0, might have been 8-0 with a recusal, opinion by the United States Supreme Court. Then it's been settled law since then and super precedent since then, all the way to 2019, where Robert Mueller, as special counsel, was affirmed as a living, breathing, appropriate thing under constitutional a delegation of powers and authorities and all of that by the DC Court of Appeals, which is the second highest, most prestigious court of appeals in America, just below the United States Supreme Court, from 2019. And the only one that's ever believed this thought experiment, this fringe academic exercise, is the Federalist Society, is Steve Calabrese, who co-founded the Federalist Society and wrote the brief, who's also another patron or mentor for the Federalist Society, Judge Cannon, who got to speak in court, who got to file his brief in court, and the other leader of that fringe thinking, Clarence Thomas. The only one, I believe, on the United States Supreme Court who thinks there's an argument that the special counsel is a figment of our imagination, is constitutionally improper and rogue, and his indictments therefore should be dismissed, is one Clarence Thomas. Maybe as a sympathy vote, out of just sheer mercy, he gets Alito to join him. So maybe it's 7-2 against Clarence Thomas when it finally comes up to the United States Supreme Court. I believe the 11th Circuit, led by Chief Justice Pryor, and even Trump-appointed federal judges there, who have routinely reversed at least 2 other times, this same judge about this case. And I mean that. I mean, there's at least out of the 6 total judges, half of them were Trump appointed. They are waiting to get this third reversal up to them. And she served it up on a platter. And now they've set an initial, I did a hot take on this one. They set an initial, the clerk of the court for the 11th Circuit up in Atlanta set an initial briefing schedule is a little bit tighter than the one that the computer generated, which would allow this to be tried in the fall, argued in the fall through full briefing, but also extended an invitation to special counsel Jack Smith, who is the appellant, which is the party who takes the appeal, and said, unless you want to ask for a faster schedule. I believe that Jack Smith is going to take that invitation, and whether it's today, tonight, tomorrow, Monday, he's going to file a request for expedited briefing. And I think any panel of the 11th Circuit is going to take this quite seriously. When she screwed up at the beginning, they set an expedited schedule that was weeks in length, twice, to get the issues resolved. That's how important they thought it was to the administration of justice and the appearance and the protection of the reputation of all courts within the 11th Circuit, including the Southern District of Florida, to get this resolved quickly and for them to rule. I believe they'll do the exact same thing here as soon as Jack Smith gets around to tapping out through his team his 3 pages and sends it to the 11th Circuit, and then you and I can talk about that next week. Welcome back. We only know how to present that kind of analysis one way: uncensored, unfiltered, unplugged, sometimes unhinged. On Wednesdays, I do it with Karen Freeman at Kniflo. On Saturdays with Ben Meiselas, we sit at the intersection of law and politics so you don't have to. And we bring it to you, I think, there's nobody else on the internet doing this. This is lawyers who know what they're talking about at the intersection of law and politics, bringing it to you just like that. If you're already part of our audience, help us grow. We got to do it by word of mouth. We got no outside investors. We're completely independent. Take the clip and send it off as a bite-sized version and ask people to join the show. If you don't know who I am or what I'm talking about, all right, that happens. I'm Michael Popok. That was Legal AF. And we invite you to join us Wednesdays, Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Free subscribe to the MeidasTouch Network. You're already here. We got to get to 3 million before the end of the summer. And we got to do it with you. We're building this network with our bare hands and your bare hands. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok. Heary. Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.